Hello, this is Rich, and today I just want to show you my update to my procedural object placement system, and also there's going to be a download with this as well, so you're going to get the latest version. And you may say, oh, how much work can be done in a day that you spent or two on it? Well, I've packed in a couple pretty good features. One I think you guys will like pretty well. So let's just get right into it, and I'll explain the differences. My system works in 3 modes, so let's go ahead and do this. Opening up my editor. Open. I'm going to try to keep this quick, but also explain the features. Okay, I'm going to take this object here, which is my procedural object. I've added a few new features here. You're going to see gen on types only. You can check that, and you're going to see another feature, use object helpers. You can check that if you want to use it as well. You're also going to see types to place on, which is also new. Okay, I'm going to explain these new features here, but first we don't need such a big volume, so let's just go ahead and decrease the radius. We don't need the height so big either, so let's just decrease the height. Okay, now I made my own object, another procedural object. It's a little table, not like these, it's an actually little table. I just used a CryEngine default texture for it, wood texture, but the model is my own that I made in a 3D package. And it's different than the other models that takes advantage of my new system. But I'm going to show you the 3 modes that we have here, okay, for a specific reason. First of all, we're not going to go over gen on types only, and we're not going to go over use object helpers nor types to place on yet. We're going to go with the original feature, which is just purely generating objects that snap to surfaces within inside this volume. So it's going to snap to the terrain. So we're going to make sure gen on types only is off, use object helpers to off, and types allowed. Types to place on, we're going to leave that blank. Types allowed, we're going to generate my new object type, std table. It stands for standard table. And we're going to go and click on generate, and we're going to generate 6 tables inside this area. The reason why I didn't generate 6 is because this bounding box is here underneath the terrain, so one of these objects was spawned a little bit below this, so it raycasted down through here. But anyways, we do have 4 objects that are randomly placed here. Let's just bring this over. I'm going to try to get a better placement because it's not scripted, so it's not predefined. So let's go ahead and raise the Z just below. Okay, let's try to generate 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Close enough. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead. That was our default way of generating things, is generating types allowed, your random objects inside random types. You specify the different types of objects you want to be able to generate, and it generates them all within the volume. and then make sure they snap to all of the surfaces that are inside the volume. So if I had a surface that was in the middle of the volume, obviously you have some place on top on the surface and some place on the bottom on the surface. Okay, that's what we had before. But here are the new features here. Secondly, we have the ability to click generate on types only. So let's go ahead and click generate on types only. And what objects do we want to generate? I want to generate my new object type that I made called PLATE as standard plate. Make sure there's a comma at the end. Standard plate. So I want to spawn standard plates on types only. And what types do I want to spawn these plates onto? And the types that I want to spawn the plates onto is std table. So I want to spawn plates only on things of type table. So this is going to randomly place and rotate objects onto different surfaces that you so choose. So you have way more control on what objects gets placed on different objects. In this case, you're going to see we're going to randomly generate plates on top of these tables only. Okay, only. And then to add a little bit more variation. But the end result, we're actually going to have a table that's procedurally generated that has neatly placed plates in actual meaningful order. It's not only going to be, right now we're generating on types only, so it's going to be randomly generated, rotated only on these tables here. But then after that, we're going to go over use object helpers, and it's going to set the plates only on tables, because we specified that only on tables. But it's going to be 100% how it would be in real life, so that this procedural system actually makes sense. So it doesn't just generate random objects. It now also generates objects on certain types in a certain order that you've set up in 3D Studio Max. So let's go ahead and generate 6 plates. So there's five tables. So it's probably going to be 2 plates on one table and 1 on the rest. So let's go ahead after we've done that and reload our scripts. It made a little error. Anyways, just reload again. There we go. Plate. 2 plates. 2 plates. 2 plates. That's it. Okay. A way of generating objects randomly on specific surfaces. Pretty damn cool if you ask me. So let's go ahead and test me on this theory here. Let's go ahead and geometry entity, my files, objects, procedural, placement. Let's put something like a chair inside here. And let's see if these plates are generated on this chair. It's a surface that's inside the volume, but we have specified only place the types on the chair. Tables. So let's see if I generate. And no, it doesn't. That's because we told it only to on types. Okay. Awesome, awesome. So there we go. Now we have ability to specify what objects we want to place on the table. Or maybe we want to place the test object. Remember the little cube we had on these desks? So let's go ahead and types allowed. We want STD plates. And we want to allow the test object as well. Simple raycast error here. Pretty cool. Notice it wasn't generated on this table. So now let's go into the next feature of generating objects on specific types of other objects and placing them on other objects, but in a predefined manner that was set up in 3D Studio Max. So let's go ahead and go to the procedural generation. Let's go ahead and turn on Gen on Type Only. Off, turn it off. And we don't want to use object helpers right now. We want to just generate some tables. We want to generate 6 tables, so we're going to reload the scripts to generate those tables. Now what we're going to do is we are going to now that we have that, we're going to generate on, because use object helpers, you have to take the feature generate on types only to true. We want to create number of objects. We want to create 24. Let's just say that 24 plates. So we want to create, we want to types allowed. We want to create some plates. Types allowed, STD plates, and want to place it on the type tables. Then we also want to use object helpers. Now that we've done that, we have 24 plates being generated only on objects of type table, and we're going to be using object helpers. So let's go ahead and click on Reload Scripts. Oh man, that's funny. Oh Lord, that's funny. Anyways, there's a small error in my script due to the fact that I completed the last feature of doing this and didn't test it before I made the video. But here we go. You can easily see that when these plates are rotated, they easily lie in specific positions on the tables here. Let me turn on AI physics. For instance, let me show you. Simple error. These objects rotated during runtime, and the positions of the plates were calculated in my code before the objects were rotated. So let me just add geometry entity. Let me actually add my table through the actual entity and don't rotate it. Okay, and then we're going to actually generate on types only. Make sure we're using the object helpers. Number of objects, we're going to do 6. And now let's reload our scripts. You're going to easily see that we have this table nice uniformly set up as if it would be. So it's not more random at all. My system takes advantage of, if you so choose, you can define predefined settings inside of 3D Studio Max. And it works beautifully. So if I took this object here, okay, and I copied it here, copied it over here, and did this, boop. And let's see, what do I have? 1, 2, 3. So let's just increase the number of objects to 18. Actually, not 18. I want to show you something else. So instead of filling up the table with 6 plates, let's just do 15. Okay. We have generate on types only, and use object helpers, and we're going to generate 15 plates only on tables. Okay. We have a nice little layout. perfectly 100%, perfectly 100%, perfectly 100%. As you can see, this asset was made with 6 predefined positions. So we spawned 15. So it went ahead, and since there wasn't enough objects here, it picked randomly 3 different positions of the helpers to place them nice and neat. As you can see, the system is absolutely 100% amazing. Don't mind when I release a script, this errors won't be here. It was because I didn't test before I did this, and I know why it does that. But 100% perfect. Okay, guys? Alright then, thank you very much. Same thing for these. These objects didn't exactly go on here because these objects were rotated during runtime to give a random rotation. And again, these positions of these objects were calculated before rotation was into effect. So I just got to switch around some values and it'll be 100%. Thank you guys very much. Hope you guys enjoy, and you'll be able to use my procedural system for a lot of things. Bookshelves. And I still got another feature that I'm not going to announce yet, but I am working on it. That's going to be amazing. Just it has to do with multi-layered procedural generation, and we'll get on that next time I make an update. So I hope you guys enjoy, and you can see the effectiveness of my system of being able to procedurally generate objects in places that you so define randomly, as well as making objects appear randomly in general area in the volume, snapping to all surfaces so nothing's floating, and to also place different objects that you specify onto other different objects randomly. So 3 different modes, guys. Hope you guys enjoy. Thank you very much. Please leave a comment. Let me know how I did.